Do you love action movies and the firearms that define cinema? Do Hollywood guns really work the way we see on screen? And can an actor handle them like a seasoned professional? That's exactly what we explore here, so stick around. This channel was made for you.
Hello and welcome to Hollywood Guns. I'm your host Wilson. Whether you're into action flicks, classic thrillers, or unforgettable TV shows, this is the place where movie magic meets real-world firearms.
Earlier this year we covered the HK-P30L from the original John Wick. And in that movie we met a broken man stripped of everything, dragged back into a violent world he tried to leave behind. But in the sequel, the stakes rise, and John has a blood oath marker called in, forcing him to honour an impossible debt. The betrayal that ensues pulls him deeper into the underworld, from the catacombs of Rome to the streets of New York, where every ally could become an enemy and every fight is bigger, louder and more desperate than the last. For the second film, the armourer levelled up from a factory HK pistol to a custom competition build, and Keanu Reeves also trained for months under one of the USPCA's top multi-gun champions. When we graded the firearms handling in the first movie, it surprised me and many of you by not earning a perfect score. So, how will Chapter 2 compare? Will Keanu's advanced training and the new custom pistol raise the grade? Or will the sequel's push for bigger and better slip into outrageous territory? And because this is the channel's first birthday episode, one of you watching will actually have the chance to win big. Details coming up later. In this episode, we'll cover the history of the Glock 34, the custom improvements made for Wick, and grade the realism of the gunplay. So ladies and gentlemen, let's take a closer look at the Taran Tactical Innovations Combat Master from John Wick 2.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wick. It's been a long time.
I'd like a tasting.
I can wholeheartedly endorse the new breed of Austrian Glock 34 and 26. Contoured grips, flared magwell for easier reloads, and I know you'll appreciate the custom porting. What's next?
For this week's episode, I'm filming on location at a very unique online retailer. Off the Set Props, located in Stuart, Florida, specializes in curating real weapons as they've been seen on the big screen. Their owner Eric is an armorer and a collector of actual screen-used firearms, movie props, and other memorabilia. Over the next couple of months on the channel, I'll be featuring several guns from Eric's collection that are actually screen-used original props. So a huge thanks for sharing these exclusive items on my channel. Please remember to check out his Instagram and website for more movie entertainment and related items. Background and history of the firearm. On screen is the actual TTI Glock used in John Wick Chapter 2 as identified by our friends at IMFDB. If you're a Glock nerd, you'll spot one oddity right away. The gun on the table is actually a Glock 41, the 45 ACP version. They're nearly identical in every way except for the caliber and mag capacity, so please don't crucify me for filming this specific example. TTI firearms are pretty hard to come by, and for the rest of the segment I'm going to focus on the Glock 34 configuration as it appears in the film. The Glock 34 debuted in 1998 as a competition-oriented 9mm variant of the Glock 17. What sets it apart is its longer slide and barrel, roughly 21mm or just under an inch longer, which gives a longer sight radius for improved accuracy and better controllability in rapid fire. The Factory 34 also features things like an extended magazine release, an extended slide stop, a roughly 4.5 pound trigger pull, and an adjustable rear sight. The slide's front profiles are slanted rather than squared, and later models have portions on the slide milled to reduce front-end weight and improve the balance. And the 34 also accepts any magazine that fits the Glock 17. Taran Tactical took the competition platform and pushed it into race gun territory for the film. The build focuses on speed, ergonomics, and reliability under high-tempo shooting, and these are all traits that translate from USPCA 3 gun competitions into the non-stop bad guy environment of John Wick. On camera, the sommelier highlights exactly why those competition upgrades matter.
Recontoured grips, flared magwell for easier reloads, and I know you'll appreciate the custom porting.
Faster acquisition, smoother manipulation, and quicker reloads mean the actor can string realistic action sequences together without obvious cuts. So what did TTI actually change? The major mods are designed to make the pistol faster to point, easier to control, and simpler to reload. Reduced grip dimensions and aggressive stippling provide a firmer purchase under sweat.
should your hands get wet.
A flared magwell and extended capacity magazine, slide cuts, and front serrations for reduced weight and improved manipulations. A highly polished diamond-like carbon-coated slide, an upgraded barrel for smoother cycling, competition-grade trigger work. Later models had a red Timney trigger for crisper brakes, and a fiber optic front sight for fast target acquisition. Finally, I'd also like to thank Taran Butler, who gave me permission to use the Keanu behind-the-scenes videos that you're seeing in this episode. You can find out more on his own YouTube channel, linked in the description. That's it, good luck with the competition, and let's get back to the video. Firearms accuracy of the TTI Combat Master in John Wick 2. As you know, in signature episodes like this one, I like to break down how accurately the firearm is portrayed compared to the real-world expectations across 3 categories: capacity, caliber effects, and the actor's handling. If you've not seen my John Wick 1 episode, please take a look at it at the end of this video for a full breakdown on the weapons handling and a deep dive into the HK-P30L and the recreated weapons cache that a viewer on the channel Defenderco recreated. Spoiler alert, my analysis concluded that the movie showed grade A accuracy in terms of real-life portrayal of the 9mm ballistics, and also in terms of John Wick's own shooting capability as a highly trained assassin. However, I did find that in the main scene where the pistol was used at the Red Circle Club, there was a big oversight which viewers have debated at length in the video comments. And in that, we saw John Wick fire 24 rounds before reloading his magazine. And that wouldn't be an issue with the Combat Master in episode 2, as the capacity is 23+1. But in movie number 1, the P30L's magazine capacity was 15+1 in the chamber.
You mark it, sir?
Okay, firearm capacity. John first draws the Combat Master after Gianna has already slit her wrists and bled out in the bath. He confirms her death with a coup de grace to the head. He then encounters Gianna's bodyguard, Cassian, in the nightclub area. After a terse exchange, they both draw from the hip. On screen, John's muzzle flashes appear to light up 4 times, but a frame-by-frame analysis shows that it's actually 2 shots shown twice from different camera angles. He gets up and runs off, fighting through the nightclub patrons, and dispatches 7 guards for a total of 18 shots fired before his first magazine change. On the second magazine, he fights through 5 more guards, firing 9 rounds in that engagement. He swaps to the third magazine and engages another 7 guards as he fights towards his infill/exfil point in the catacombs, firing 13 more shots into 7 guards, then performs a preemptive magazine change. Cassian's team, all 19 of them, are now down, and John gets back into the catacombs and runs into Santino's head bodyguard, Ares, who was sent in to double-cross him and tidy up.
Loose ends? Yeah.
As Ares' crew takes over the cleanup, John lays down suppressive fire from his 4th magazine while retreating, firing only 7 rounds before he changes magazines again. In the 5th magazine, still fleeing, John fires 8 rounds and then holsters the pistol before switching to the TR1, an AR-15 variant. And to me, this 5th magazine is the best of the movie, because John now begins switching weapons fluidly as the fight unfolds. We see him engaging numerous adversaries with the 5.56 round, and when that rifle's 2nd magazine runs dry, he throws it at an opponent, transitions back to his Combat Master, and fires 5 more times. He now reaches his 2nd stashed weapon, the Benelli M4, and we get a masterclass in 3-gun style shotgun combat with lots of tactical reloads. In the middle of one of these reloads, he's caught off guard, and instead of pulling shotgun shells from his belt to reload the Benelli, he instead draws the Combat Master again and fires 2 shots during the reload sequence. Once the Benelli runs dry, John switches back to the Combat Master and fires 4 more shots before the scene ends. He has used 23 shots in that 5th magazine, if my count is correct, and appears to still have 1 in the chamber. As a postscript to the catacomb scene, John gets run over by Cassian as he walks away, and they exchange gunfire, and John fires 11 rounds from his 6th magazine before he discards the Combat Master and engages Cassian in hand-to-hand combat. I'm assuming he reloaded off screen after leaving the catacombs, of course, and there was certainly plenty of time to do that between the sequences. And that's it for the Combat Master for the rest of the movie. From here on in, he continues to fight with Cassian using his backup Glock 26, and then a collection of borrowed weapons for the rest of the movie. A quick recap. We see him change 5 magazines, although he actually uses 6 in total, and none of those magazines exceed 23 rounds. There are no overcapacity errors, and the only thing that might be questioned is whether he's carrying 5 extra magazines on his person. And we do see him gear up, and although the scene is very dark, he appears to have at least 3 magazines stowed on one side of his belt, with room on the other side and behind for more, plus his backup pistol. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this one. Carrying 5 magazines is totally plausible. Grade A. Caliber capability. This segment looks at how the film portrays the terminal effects of the round. In this case, the 9mm. John's usual rule on screen is simple. If a target earns a bullet, it usually gets 2 or 3 to be sure. In the catacombs, he racks up a lot of headshots, the kind of close quarters work that he's famous for. My main problem here isn't whether the 9mm can stop someone, it's that John Wick 2 slides away from the gritty realism of the first film, and in a bid to one-up it, heads full bore into the fantasy world. This shift becomes obvious in the scene at the tailor's. The way body armor and bullet effects are shown doesn't line up with how those materials behave in reality.
0 penetration. However,
Quite painful, I'm afraid.
Feel free to correct me in the comments, but from what I understand, a single layer of soft armor that emulates fabric won't simply catch rounds the way the movie shows. Even if the material slows or deforms a projectile, when that material is pressed against a human body, the energy transfer and trauma are still going to happen. The bullet isn't just going to stop neatly like a movie prop does. It's going to continue straight through the body, taking the sheet of soft armor along with it. So, great action, I enjoyed the sequence, but if we're grading the caliber's portrayal, this scene unfortunately fails the realism test. Grade F. Character accuracy. Could John Wick make the shots? Up on screen are clips from Taran Butler's channel of Keanu running the TTI 3-gun course, and honestly, it's super impressive. These are real drills with real 9mm, 5.56 and 12 gauge rounds, and they give you a very clear understanding into the level of weapons work that Keanu drilled on, and very importantly, how all these guns work with recoil. Any shooter watching that footage will tell you Keanu put the hours in and attained a very high level of skill. Other than a tiny gap in perhaps raw speed, he's operating at something very close to the level of a pro 3-gun competitor. And that training matters because John Wick Chapter 2 borrows directly from the competition world. Strip away the fantasy of endless bad guys and the sequence logic looks like a 3-gun match. Pistol to carbine to shotgun as threat density and needed firepower increase. Transitions, target sequencing, reloads. All of it mirrors how a competitor runs a stage under pressure. So how does that translate to the screen? While the movie still indulges in cinematic escalation, the gun handling itself is unusually authentic. The way Wick moves, re-indexes and strings hits together, that's competition technique adapted for on-screen choreography. It's the first time I've seen that level of practical competition performance so clearly brought into a mainstream action movie. Final call on the character accuracy? Well, this isn't just realistic, this is a new benchmark. I'm giving it an S tier rating. Overall grade for firearms accuracy in John Wick 2. We've basically 3 bars here. Capacity grade A. Honestly, it could have been higher. I can't remember analysing a scene with so many clean magazine changes. Caliber and ballistics realism. grade F. Not because the hits look bad, but because of the movie's choice of a thin body armor, and that breaks the credibility of the caliber. And character/actor accuracy, S tier. The actor, the technique, the transitions, and the training all perform like a highly trained shooter. If you average those three straight across, you get something like a C grade. The body armor choice really pulls the whole score down, and that feels unfair because the armor issue isn't a firearms handling error. If you set that aside and judge only the weapons work, capacity, mag management, transitions, training, and choreography, John Wick 2 clearly improves over the first film. Even though I prefer the first movie because bigger doesn't necessarily equate to a better movie. However, for the catacomb sequence featuring the Combat Master specifically, I'm satisfied to move it up to an overall grade A.
Tell them all. Whoever comes, whoever it is, I'll kill them. I'll kill them all. Of course you will.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. 2 more episodes coming up fast, a collaboration with Ruger, and at the end of the month, I'm back at Off the Set Props to do an episode that I hoped this channel would find its way towards when I started it. So once again, thanks to Off the Set Props, who provided the Combat Master for this episode, and who are also giving me the ability to bring you one of Kate Beckinsale's screen-used death dealers.